Hey everyone, if you've been watching the smart glasses space closely this year, you already know one thing. Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses are often treated as the wearable to beat, but there's another pair of glasses that's been quietly gaining attention because it's doing things in a different way with a front-facing camera, hands-free photo capture, an AI that answers questions about what you're really looking at. Today we're breaking down the Solos Airgo Vision smart glasses, what they do, how they actually perform in everyday life, and why people are starting to talk about these as a real alternative to Meta's Ray-Ban AI eyewear. This is an in-depth look, and everything you'll hear is grounded in features that are officially announced and verifiable. No rumors, no leaks, and no guesses. Before we really get into the story, here's the moment that matters most. The Solos Airgo Vision actually has a built-in camera that captures photos and lets AI answer questions about what you're seeing in real time. That's the same core interaction that makes Ray-Ban smart glasses interesting to a lot of users. Both products lean heavily on AI and computer vision, but the way Solos implements this, especially with a modular design, is substantively different, and that's why this product is getting serious attention right now. Right out of the gate, these are smart glasses in the modern sense. They're designed to work with your smartphone over Bluetooth. They have sensors and a camera built into the front of the frames, and they run AI-powered interactions that respond to what you see and say. With the Airgo Vision, you can speak naturally to the glasses and ask questions about your environment, and the system responds based on what the camera is capturing. That includes recognizing text, identifying objects, and providing contextual information about what's in front of you, all without pulling out your phone. In terms of design, the Solos Airgo Vision uses a familiar eyeglass-style frame. It doesn't look like a headset, and it doesn't feel like a tech prototype. The frames are designed to be worn all day, and they're offered with multiple lens options, including standard clear lenses, blue light filtering lenses, and photochromic lenses that adjust to lighting conditions. From a distance, they look like normal glasses, which is a big part of why people feel comfortable wearing them in public. One of the most distinctive things about these glasses is the modular front frame system. The camera module sits in the front frame, and that front section can be detached and replaced with a non-camera frame. If you want to use the glasses strictly for audio and voice interaction, the electronics and the temples stay the same. This means you have direct control over when you're wearing a camera and when you're not, which addresses a lot of privacy concerns people have with smart glasses in general. Day 2. Usability is where these glasses really start to make sense. The Airgo Vision supports open-ear audio, so you can hear responses, navigation prompts, or translations without blocking out the world around you. Touch controls on the temples let you adjust volume and manage basic interactions without speaking, which is useful in quiet spaces or crowded environments. Charging is done over USB-C, so you don't need a proprietary cable, and the glasses pair with both Android and iOS phones. Now let's talk about how people actually use these in real life, starting with the camera and AI interaction. Because the glasses have a forward-facing camera, you can ask questions about what you're looking at simply by saying a command and keeping your head pointed toward the subject. You can ask the glasses to identify an object, read text out loud, translate a sign into your language, or describe what's in front of you. This kind of interaction feels very natural because it matches how you already move through the world. You look at something, then you ask about it. The Airgo Vision focuses on still images rather than continuous video recording. You can capture photos on demand using voice commands, but the glasses are not designed for hands-free video capture. That design choice clearly separates them from some other smart glasses on the market and keeps the focus on visual understanding rather than content creation. Language translation is another area where these glasses are getting attention. You can look at text in another language, a menu, a street sign, a product label, and ask the glasses what it says. The AI processes the text and provides a translation through the audio output, allowing you to keep moving instead of stopping. To use your phone, navigation and location-based questions also work through Phone Connect. The glasses don't have built-in GPS, but when paired with your phone, you can ask for directions, nearby locations, or general guidance. Responses come through audio, which means you don't have to constantly check a screen while walking. Comfort plays a big role in whether smart glasses are actually usable long-term, and the Airgo Vision is designed with that in mind. The weight distribution, open-ear audio design, and standard frame shape make them easy to wear for extended periods. Battery life is designed to support typical daily use, including AI interactions, audio playback, and photo capture, without frequent recharging during the day. Once paired with a phone, the glasses rely on that connection for internet access and AI processing support. This setup is similar to how other smart glasses operate today, using the phone as a companion device, while the glasses act as the interface you wear on your face. In everyday scenarios, this kind of wearable changes how you access information. Instead of stopping to unlock your phone and type a search, you ask a question while continuing what you're doing. Whether you're traveling, exploring a new area, or just curious about something you see, the interaction stays hands-free and immediate. When people compare the Solos Airgo Vision to Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses, the conversation usually comes down to approach rather than raw capability. Meta's glasses focused heavily on audio, voice interaction, and social features, while Solos emphasizes visual understanding through a built-in camera paired with AI. Both are real products available now, and both are being used in the real world. What makes the Airgo Vision stand out is that it offers a camera-based AI experience in a modular, wearable form that feels practical rather than experimental. The ability to remove the camera frame, the focus on still photography and visual questions, and the emphasis on everyday usability all contribute to why these glasses are now part of serious conversations about the future of smart eyewear. And that's really why people are talking about smart glasses again, not because of flashy demos or futuristic promises, but because products like these are quietly fitting into daily routines. Translation, navigation, object recognition, and quick information access are all things people already do with their phone. Smart glasses just change how you access those tools. The Solos Airgo Vision doesn't try to be everything at once. It sticks to a clearly defined set of features that are available right now, and it delivers them in a form that people can realistically wear throughout the day. That's what makes it a genuine competitor in a space that's finally starting to mature. If you've been curious about smart glasses, but unsure whether they're actually useful beyond novelty, this is one of the clearest examples of how the category is becoming practical. As more people spend time with products like this, the conversation shifts from, "Is this cool?" to, "Does this fit into my life?" And that's when wearable tech really starts to matter. What really starts to matter after a few days of wearing the Solos Airgo Vision isn't the novelty of asking questions out loud or snapping a photo hands-free. It's how often you actually choose to use the glasses instead of your phone. That's where smart glasses succeed or fail. And it's also where this product starts to feel like a legitimate alternative to Meta's Ray-Ban glasses rather than just another experiment. One of the biggest reasons people keep using the Airgo Vision is that it doesn't demand your attention. You're not staring at a screen, you're not holding anything, and you're not changing how you move through the world. You look at something, you ask a question, and you get an answer through audio. That's the entire interaction loop. And it stays consistent whether you're translating text, identifying an object, or asking for contextual information. There's no app switching, no tapping through menus, and no visual clutter. Comfort plays a quiet but critical role here. Because these glasses use an open-ear audio design, you're never cut off from your surroundings. You hear responses, clearly, but you also hear traffic, people talking, and environmental sounds that makes them usable while walking, commuting, or exploring unfamiliar places. You don't feel isolated, and you don't feel like you're wearing headphones all day. The frame design reinforces that feeling. They sit on your face like normal glasses, not like a wearable gadget that constantly reminds you it's there. The modular frame system becomes more important over time than it initially seems. On days when you know you'll be using visual AI features heavily, you can keep the camera front attached. On days when you just want audio, calls, or voice interaction, you can swap to the non-camera front. That flexibility changes how people perceive the glasses socially. You're not locked into wearing a camera all the time. And that matters both for personal comfort and for how others react around you. Using the camera itself feels intentional rather than passive, because the Airgo vision captures still images. Instead of recording continuous video, every interaction requires a conscious action. You either ask a question about what you're seeing or trigger a photo capture. That design choice shapes how people use the glasses. They're not about documenting your life, moment to moment. They're about understanding your surroundings when you need information. That becomes especially clear with translation. Instead of pulling out your phone, opening a translation app, pointing your camera, and waiting for text recognition, you just look and ask. The response comes back through audio, which means you can keep walking or stay engaged in the moment. This is one of those use cases that sounds small on paper, but feels meaningful when you're actually using it. Navigation works in a similar way. The glasses don't replace your phone's maps, but they change how you interact with directions. You can ask where something is, get guidance through audio, and keep your eyes on the street instead of a screen. Over time, this starts to feel safer and more natural, especially in busy or unfamiliar environments. Audio quality also matters more than people expect, because responses, navigation, and translations all come through sound. Clarity is critical. The Airgo Vision delivers audio that's clear enough to understand speech without blasting volume into your ears. It's not designed to replace high-end headphones, but it doesn't need to. It just needs to deliver information reliably. And it does that consistently. Touch controls on the temples add another layer of practicality. There are times when speaking isn't ideal. Maybe you're in a quiet space. Maybe there's too much background noise. Or maybe you just don't want to talk out loud. Being able to adjust volume or control interactions with simple gestures keeps the glasses usable in those moments. It's a small thing, but it prevents frustration. Battery life also shapes how often people reach for the glasses. The Airgo Vision is designed to handle typical daily use without constant charging anxiety. You can go through a day of AI queries, photo captures, and audio interactions, and still feel comfortable leaving the house without a power bank. Charging over USB-C helps too, because it fits into existing habits. You don't have to think about proprietary cables or special chargers. Phone connectivity stays mostly invisible, which is exactly what you want. Once paired, the glasses rely on your phone for internet access and processing support, but you don't feel that dependency in daily use. You're not constantly checking whether the connection is active. You just use the glasses, and the interaction works as expected. This is where comparisons with Meta's Ray-Ban glasses naturally come up. Meta's approach emphasizes social features, audio interaction, and integration with its own ecosystem. The Solos Airgo Vision takes a more utility-focused path, centered around visual understanding and contextual information. Neither approach is inherently better. They're simply aimed at different priorities. What matters is that both products are real, available, and being used by people right now. What's interesting is how these differences shape behavior. Ray-Ban smart glasses often feel like an extension of your phone's audio and camera functions, especially for quick captures and voice commands. The Airgo Vision feels more like an extension of your curiosity. You don't use it to share content as much as you use it to understand what's around you. That distinction changes how often and why people put the glasses on in the first place. Privacy also plays into this, because the Airgo Vision focuses on still images and intentional interactions. It draws clearer boundaries around when the camera is active, combined with the removable camera front that gives users more control over how the device fits into social settings. You're not relying on indicators or assumptions. You're physically choosing whether the camera is present. Over time, that control builds trust, both for the wearer and for the people around them. Smart glasses have struggled with this issue for years, and while the Airgo Vision doesn't eliminate concerns entirely, it does address them in a practical, visible way. Another thing that becomes clear after extended use is that these glasses aren't trying to replace your phone. They're trying to reduce how often you need to interrupt what you're doing to use it. That's a subtle but important distinction. You still use your phone for messaging, browsing, and media. But for quick questions, translations, or directions. The glasses become the faster option. This shift doesn't happen all at once. It happens gradually, as you realize you're reaching for the glasses without thinking about it. That's usually the sign that a wearable is doing something right. When the interaction feels easier than the alternative, habits start to change. The Airgo vision fits into that space by staying focused. It doesn't try to overlay graphics in your vision. It doesn't add displays or complex visual interfaces. And it doesn't ask you to learn new interaction models. You look, you ask, you listen. That simplicity keeps the experience approachable, even for people who aren't deeply into tech. And that's why conversations around smart glasses are shifting. Instead of asking whether the technology is ready, people are starting to ask which approach fits their lifestyle. Do you want something focused on social sharing and audio? Or something centered on visual understanding and information access? The fact that this is even a real choice now says a lot about where the category is today. By the time you reach this point, with the Solos Airgo vision, it's clear why it's being mentioned alongside Meta's Ray-Ban glasses as a serious competitor. Not because it does more, but because it does something specific, consistently, and in a form people are willing to wear every day. And that sets the stage for the bigger question: how these glasses fit into long-term daily routines, and whether this kind of wearable becomes something people rely on, or something they eventually leave at home. That's where the conversation naturally goes next. And that's exactly what we'll get into as we continue. By the time smart glasses start feeling normal in your routine, that's when their real value becomes clear. Not when you're showing them to friends or testing every feature back to back, but when you're just living your day and realizing you haven't taken your phone out of your pocket in a while. That's the point where the Solos Airgo vision either earns its place on your face or quietly gets left behind. And this is where the conversation around these glasses becomes much more grounded. What the Airgo vision does well is stay out of the way. There's no visual display demanding your attention, no constant notifications pulling your focus, and no pressure to interact unless you want to. The glasses don't interrupt you. They respond when asked. That alone changes how they feel compared to a phone or even a smartwatch. You're not reacting to technology. You're using it intentionally. That intentional use becomes especially noticeable in everyday environments. Walking through a city, visiting a museum, traveling in a new country, or even just running errands. The glasses feel like a quiet layer of assistance rather than a distraction. You look at something unfamiliar. You ask a question, you get an answer, and then you move on. There's no follow-up screen time unless you choose to dig deeper on your phone later. This also shapes how often you actually wear them. Because the Airgo Vision looks like regular glasses and feels comfortable enough for long stretches. It doesn't feel like a commitment to put them on. You're not gearing up to use a gadget. You're just wearing glasses that happen to do more. That's a subtle but important difference, especially for people who've tried wearables before and stopped using them once the novelty wore off. Over time, the strengths and limitations of the product become very clear, and that honesty is part of why people trust it. The Airgo Vision doesn't try to replace screens. It doesn't try to create an augmented reality interface. It doesn't claim to transform how you see the world. Instead, it quietly supports specific tasks, understanding what you are looking at, translating text, capturing a photo when your hands are busy, and getting spoken answers without breaking your flow. Those limitations actually work in its favor. Because expectations are clear, the experience doesn't feel disappointing. You're not waiting for features that don't exist, and you're not adjusting your behavior to accommodate the device. The glasses adapt to you, not the other way around. This is also where the comparison to Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses becomes more balanced and less about hype. Meta's glasses lean heavily into audio, voice control, and social use. They're designed to feel like an extension of your phone's microphone, speakers, and camera for quick moments. The Solos Airgo Vision, on the other hand, leans into visual context and information. It's less about capturing moments and more about understanding them. Neither approach is objectively better. They simply reflect different ideas of what smart glasses should be. Some people want glasses that help them communicate, listen, and share. Others want glasses that help them interpret the world around them. The fact that both options now exist in consumer-ready products is what makes this moment interesting. Another thing that becomes clear with longer use is how socially acceptable the Airgo Vision feels. Because interactions are subtle and mostly audio-based. You're not drawing attention to yourself when using them. You're not holding a device up to your face, and you're not visibly recording video. In most situations, people around you don't even realize you're interacting with technology at all. That social invisibility matters more than spec sheets ever will. It determines whether you feel comfortable using the glasses in public spaces, at work, or around people who might be sensitive to cameras. The removable camera front reinforces that comfort. You're not asking others to trust that the camera isn't active. You're physically choosing whether it's there. From a practical standpoint, that flexibility makes the Airgo Vision easier to integrate into different parts of life. One setup works for travel and exploration. Another works for daily commuting or office use. You don't need multiple devices. You just adjust how you use the same one. Reliability also plays a role in whether a wearable sticks. The Airgo Vision doesn't require constant troubleshooting or attention. Pairing with a phone is straightforward. Interactions are consistent, and charging fits into existing routines, thanks to USB-C. These aren't flashy features, but they're the ones that determine whether a device becomes part of your daily habits or ends up in a drawer. And that's really the point where the broader smart glasses conversation shifts. For years, the question was whether smart glasses could work at all. Then it became about whether people would accept them socially. Now the question is much simpler. Do they actually make everyday tasks easier? For the Airgo Vision, the answer depends on how often you value hands-free information. If you frequently translate text, navigate en familiar places, or find yourself curious about what you re-looking at, the glasses earn their place quickly. If your daily routine doesn't involve those moments, they might feel less essential, and that's okay. Not every wearable needs to be universal to be successful. What's important is that the Airgo Vision doesn't overpromise. It doesn't frame itself as a future platform or a preview of what's coming next. It exists firmly in the present, offering a specific set of tools that work right now. That honesty is refreshing in a category that's often driven by speculation. As more people spend real time with smart glasses like these, expectations across the entire category start to change. Instead of asking for bold claims or futuristic visuals, users start asking for better comfort, smoother interactions, and clearer boundaries around privacy. Products that meet those expectations are the ones that last. The Solos Airgo Vision fits into that reality-driven phase of smart glasses. It doesn't try to dominate the conversation. It quietly earns attention by doing something useful, consistently, in a form people are willing to wear. That's why it's being discussed as Meta Ray-Ban's first serious competitor. Not because it replaces it, but because it offers a genuinely different path forward. Smart glasses are no longer just about showing what's possible. They're about fitting into real lives. And whether you end up choosing Meta's approach or Solos's approach, the fact that this choice exists at all says one thing very clearly. Smart glasses are no longer a concept. They're a category. And from here on, it's not about who's first. It's about who understands how people actually live.